Let me see.
Look at me proving dough. The way my life just flashed before my eyes. Hi everyone, I am Tess. This is the third episode of Slightly Kosher. We have made our way through brisket. We have conquered a batch of latkes. We have made it to the sweet culmination of a perfect Hanukkah meal, Sufganiyot, or jelly donuts, for the more basic of the bunch. I am so excited to eat them. More excited to eat them than make them, truthfully, but I think this will be fun for us. So let's get started. Call my mother. I already need the help. All right, we're gonna try and get Liz on the phone. I didn't give her so much of a heads up this time because she is turning into quite a diva. Very Real Housewives of New Jersey kind of. So see if we can catch her off guard and have her talk to us about donuts. There's no more special feeling. Oh, I was gonna say them being rejected by your mother, but that was perfect timing. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you look very chic today.
I do. Oh, well, it's the glasses.
Well, it suits you. Maybe you have tips as to how we can create a perfect Jewish jelly donut.
Well, I would suggest buying them, personally.
You would suggest, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's it. That's the show. Cut it off.
You know what I said about the latkes?
Reflipping is a sign of weakness.
I always talk about the strength of your own conviction. People try to talk you out of stuff even when you know you're right. You gotta stick to it. It's very similar for jelly donuts. I think that they have to get a certain browning on one side before you turn them.
All right, so we are going to get into donut making with the same bit of advice as we had for latkes, which is that you should not flip until you feel it is right in your heart and soul to do so. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I guess we'll get back to you.
I have things to do, believe it or not.
Oh, well, I don't want to keep you a moment longer. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye. Okay. Anyway, the foundations of a Sufganiyot begin with flour, whole wheat flour, and a bit of yeast, which has been sitting on my counter and smells disgusting. I'm ready to go. And yes, thank you so much for asking. I did have an existential fit of dread on Thanksgiving and chop off 6 inches of my hair. How much flour did I put in here? Do you remember? I had him do the math.
2.5.
This is disgusting.
3/5 of a cup.
I have 3/5 of a cup of flour. I have 1/4 of a cup of whole wheat flour. And you know those little yeasty packets that the yeast comes in, the home of the yeast, if you will? About half of that, which I think is like a teaspoon and 1/4. This ultimately is gonna yield a batch. Am I recording? I never know. About, let's say 9 to 10 jelly donuts. These are meant to be eaten right off the stove with a dusting of sugar, in the way that all fantastic donuts are. What we're gonna do is take all this good base stuff, mix it together. Again, I didn't even check to see if you can see what I'm doing. I think you can. What I'm gonna do from here is pour it into the base of a mixer bowl. Just a mixer bowl. This always goes well. God, we're cruising already. Do you see what happens when I prep? And what we're gonna do is take about 1/4 cup of water, 1/8 of a cup of honey, and a tiny, tiny, tiny little hit of canola oil. That I have warmed slightly on the stove, like just about until I heard it bubbling. Then I was like, know what, enough. Took it off. I'm gonna go ahead and combine it in here so as to activate all that yeast, which again smells disgusting. Oh, f***. And then I'm gonna put it in the food processor, which I didn't plug in and bring over here. Michael, will you please immediately bring me the food processor? Are you excited to say hi to your fans? Great. Do you know what's also fun about watching the last episode over? What are you doing?
You asked for the food processor.
No, I asked for the mixer.
No, you definitely said food processor.
Did I say food processor?
Yeah.
Michael, will you please immediately bring me the food processor?
It's no secret that I'm losing my mind in course. So if I did, I apologize. I do need the mixer
You
though.
also said to get it immediately.
Immediately.
Okay. And what we're gonna do is kind of mix this together for a few minutes. Although I can already see the yeast activating. I don't want to gag smelling it, just when it feels like it's in every
You want this
orifice.
plugged in?
No, I don't want it plugged in. I want to just sit there and watch it on the base of the mixer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, please plug it in. What I have enjoyed about you being a guest on this show is that
What should I unplug?
not the lights.
Which one's the lights?
I don't know.
All right. Oh, that was the light. Light's back.
Thank you. You're doing amazing, sweetie. What I was going to say before Michael returned to his Pokemon is that what's been fun about having him as a guest on the show is that plenty of people have felt it's really their civic duty to now tell me how to speak to my husband, which I really enjoyed, let me tell you. Not that you can see it, but we are mixing everything together at a somewhat low speed. Not the lowest, the second lowest. I couldn't tell you why. June is going to just teleport from Queens and destroy me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw an egg in there. Something you know I do very well. Just splintered into a million pieces. Okay, now that the egg is in there, I'm gonna do the tiniest hit of vanilla. If you're as salty as I am, would recommend you go ahead and give it a pinch of salt. Because I do think the jelly at the end is gonna be so sweet and so luxuriously oily, not the jelly, the dough itself, that it's not gonna need much sweetness. So technically you're supposed to give it like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I don't have a measuring thingy that small, so that was definitely like 1/2 a teaspoon. It's fine, we feel nothing. More mixing. All right, things are getting sticky. If you were to eat a bunch of oatmeal real fast and then spit it right back up. All right, so funny story, I was not recording a bunch of real funny shit I just said and did that were crucial to the making of the donut. So, quick recap, I went ahead and beat that for about 2 minutes longer. I sprinkled in enough flour so that it became distinctly less mushy and a lot doughier. I did give what I thought was a helpful hint in that, like, you know you've reached a dough-like stage when the mixer begins to like rock because the body of it can't really hold the solid rather than the liquid, but great. You know what it looked like before. I will show you what it looks like now. Actually, I need you again, I'm sorry. Can you give me a rubber spatula? Thank you. So it's a lot more pliable, but as like one mass rather than just like a drooping liquid, which is what it was before when it was in that kind of porridge stage, which was categorically disgusting. Okay, this is good. This is good. This is a dough that will ultimately yield donuts. Just checking that we are recording. We are, and everything remains fine. Okay, so we're gonna dump this dough that I created onto a floured, clean surface. Ugh, the power that I wield. Might be a little too sticky. That's okay. That's okay. We remain encouraged.
Very small amount of dough.
Yeah, I have the recipe. Are you trying to eat 18 jelly donuts tonight? I mean, I would never judge you for such a thing, but... Oh. Alexa. Set a timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Okay.
Starting now.
You're welcome. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and knead this dough. Real sticky, that's okay. I'm gonna put flour on our hands. We can talk about the significance of a jelly donut, which I think lies in the fact that Jews love a very occasional, very spaced out reminder that life is sweet, that good things happen. Hence, you know, like haroset on Passover. Oh, apples and honey on Rosh Hashanah, and jelly donuts on Hanukkah. I was actually right in that the miracle of that sustained Hanukkah oil, the temple Maccabees, et cetera, blah, 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 does mean that all of this fried in oil food that we eat on Hanukkah is a celebration of our history. These donuts actually used to come in like 2 halves that sandwiched a jelly middle. So in the 15th century, the Poles and the Germans decided rather than a sandwich, like a jelly sandwich, a sweet jelly sandwich, they're gonna go ahead and pipe jelly into the middle. A lot of people say they find catharsis in kneading. This does nothing for me. That's how dead inside I am at this point in time. 9 months into Quar.
Why are you only using one hand?
I don't know. Flour between every toe and feeling nothing. It's amazing. I love how much less sticky this is than when I took it out of the bowl. I think that means we're doing something right. What?
I'm just confused in how that's going to make jelly donuts. It seems like a donut.
I'm gonna roll it out real thin. I'm gonna cut it into little circles. I'm gonna fry the out of it. Alexa, stop. Ooh. It's fine. All right, so what we're gonna do now is grease a bowl. I don't know why I decided to get close for this, I just did. I'm gonna go with salted butter. gonna grease the f out of it. I'm gonna go ahead. It's like polygoatee, right? Let me get Jewish. Throw our potato little ball of dough in here. Kind of mix it around so that every part of it gets a little of that salty butter greasiness. We're gonna cover it and let it proof for an hour. So I don't actually have any plastic wrap. I do have some beeswax. I'm gonna go ahead and cover that quite tightly. So you just let it sit. 1 hour later. Oh, that might have worked. What we're gonna do is take a look at how big this has gotten. It still smells quite yeasty. Lay it out on a lightly floured surface, which, as you may or may not know, this is my only surface. Roll it out into dough that's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Cut it into 2-inch little donuts. Fry that, cut holes in them. Attempt to pipe jelly in the middle with a plastic bag and no piping tip. Dust them with sugar. Eat them real fast. No part of that sounds challenging to me. I feel, whoa!
Let me see.
Look at me proving dough.
Oh!
The way my life just flashed before my eyes. Oh, okay. A lot more porous than the last time we checked. My heart's gonna be beating so fast for however long we continue to shoot. You know what? I promised chaos. We're doing what we can. We laugh so we don't cry. We're gonna take our little triangle of fun here, punch it down a little bit, get some of that air out. Now this knuckle imprinted dough needs to be rolled out. Would you please get me the rolling pin? I do feel the need to clarify that we do love each other. Very deeply, in fact.
Was this your version? Why is there so little oil in the pan?
I have to put more in. I was just prepping. I take it back. I love nothing. Okay. Do you have something you'd like to contribute at this point in time?
No, but you're gonna roll them. The flour is all just gonna fall off the edge of the counter.
I was gonna roll horizontally. Okay, to about 1/4 of an inch thick. You'll see this dough is the slightest bit sticky, but nothing crazy. Every form this dough has taken is unmistakably potato-like. Feeling good about this and its ability to produce, I don't know if we're gonna get those 9 to 10 Sufganiyot that I promised about probably 7 hours ago by this point. But we'll get 6 out of here, I think. Only one way to find out.
Those pop up and get filled with jelly?
Ideally.
I don't
In a
think
perfect
that's gonna
world.
be possible.
Thank you so much for your love and support. Okay, 2-inch round. I think this is a 2-inch. I just pulled it out of a big container of circles. Gonna go ahead and make sure that that dough is completely separated before pulling it out. I do understand your skepticism at this point in time that this will become something big enough to pipe something else into, but I'm feeling good right now. The fact that you're hovering makes me so nervous.
I'm
Either
just
come
watching.
here and talk or
No, I'm just watching.
go far away and play Pokemon. I think Liz would be proud, but she told me not to bother her anymore because she used to go shop for appliances. Which appliances? It's unclear. Okay, see, I think we can get more out of this if we just kind of reconstitute it.
Oh, can you do that?
It's just unnerving. Would you like to participate?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay, that's what she said. I'm sorry, I need one. Just one the whole time. Oh yeah, see, this is gonna end up being 9. Did you even know rolling pins could do that? Okay. What say we don't press our luck and just go with what we've got here? Let's heat our oil. I'm so nervous. Okay. I dropped it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Okay, it's fine. That was better. those are definitely hollow in the middle. So fresh out of the deep fryer. It doesn't not smell like Cafe du Monde in here. We did have one casualty, but that one. It was always my least favorite. I don't know how to describe them.
Well, it looks perfect.
It looks like a Yoshi shell, almost. You know that when you cut into it, it's gonna be hollow. So I am gonna be able to pipe jam in there. Again, famous last words, I've never attempted to pipe anything without a piping tip. I say this like I pipe things all the time, whatever. So.
It's impressive that there's any even. If we get one out of here that stays puffed with jelly.
You're annoying me, but not in a cute way. This will be fun. I just caught a glimpse of myself, and I do look like my mother. Not a bad thing. She's hot. So I don't know that I've carved a hole so much as I've just punctured. All right, so each of these guys have a little mouth on them now. I should stop comparing them to humans. It feels like in the minutes before I eat them. Should not be something I'm doing. Yeah, there's no way that's gonna fit in there. Eee. The slightest of hiccups. These bags are stupid and not meant for piping anything. So, I have to stop that. Instead, what I am going to do, I'm going to insert a jelly-coated knife into a tiny donut hole and kind of scrape it in there, which didn't not work. That is a Sufganiyot. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah! There's jelly in there if I squeeze. I'm not gonna squeeze. Remember when I almost dumped all the dough on the floor? We've made it to the end. We have created what some might call a jelly donut. 5 jelly donuts. We lost 2 on the way. It's fine. There were bound to be casualties. They're covered in sugar. They are still the tiniest bit warm. It smells like oil and sugar in here, which is an excellent smell. I'm gonna taste them. I'm not gonna cut into them on camera because I feel quite confident there is no jelly inside of here, just that bit on the edge. But I'm excited. That's it, that's all I have to say. Oh my God, there's jelly inside. It's like a kangaroo's pouch. This is delightful. I taste the honey more now that I've bit into it. I taste all that sugar on top. It's kind of melty. There is quite a bit of chew to these donuts. I kind of like that they're not melty or falling apart. Do I have sugar on my face? Where?
Oh, sorry. Nope, missed it.
These are lightly sweet. They are not heavy, which makes sense because they are 95% air at the end of the day. There's no like excess of oil. It's a perfect way to end Hanukkah. This has been the 3rd episode of Slightly Kosher, the conclusion to our Hanukkah trio of episodes. Trio. Did I say trio? I meant trio. Did you even notice that I stopped talking to accommodate your jelly dipping?
I'm filling it with jelly. Filled. Mmm.
I think you should sleep on the couch. This has been the 3rd episode of Slightly Kosher. No more Hanukkah episodes here on out. I don't know what happens next. If you have ideas, let me know. But as always, has been real. Oh, come on.
Outtakes.
The whole thing is outtakes.